Good afternoon to Prof. Guna Segaran. For the proposal for this seminar paper, the researcher would like to introduce the title for the research is entitled How Public and Private Schools Vary in Education Leadership. So as the researcher, I would like to introduce to you the next slide. Let's begin with the introduction. Before that, my name is Teh Huina. By looking at the public school, it is funded by local, state, and federal government, and students get their free education. And usually public school accepts students from their own geographical zone. Meaning if you stay nearby the geographical area within that zone, then most likely your children will get enrolled to the nearby school. As for the private school, it is funded by a private organization, and students' parents pay for their education. And usually, private schools, they are able to accept students from any geographical zone. Let's look at the background of the studies. An effective principal in both private and public secondary schools follow a style that is concerned with school setting and teachers' achievement for a greater purpose, that is students' performance. And as a school leader, it is important to use a style that is best suited for the teacher's behavior. So this research examines the association between 4 leadership styles, which are autocratic leadership, democratic leadership, transformational leadership, as well as instructional leadership. There are 4 of them. So these private and public schools are all located in Kuching. And its impact on teachers' behavior, which affects school students' performance. These are the one that we will look at. So in reality, principals face leadership style challenges, and this could impact the teacher's behavior and affect the overall school students' performance. So other than that, the researcher also take note of other factors that are important, such as poverty or lack of resources, which also could affect the overall school students' performance. So poverty is looking at how the parents of the students may not be able to provide necessary stationaries or textbooks for them to study in school or to do their homework at home. This is what we call a lack of resources as well. So if the situation persists without any strategies or countermeasures, so it is believed that students' performance will decline and underperform. Therefore, these research objectives come about. The first one is to examine the relationship between effective principal leadership styles and its impact on teachers' behavior, which affect the school students' performance in public and private secondary schools. The second one is to identify the key factors. Let's look at bullet point number 3, which may contribute to the overall school students' performance in public and private secondary school. And the third one, let's look at the 5th bullet point, is to provide constructive recommendation for teachers in both public and private secondary school can enhance 21st century teaching and learning in education. So there are 3 research questions that that are being analyzed here. The first research questions is, what are the impacts of effective education leadership styles on the teacher's behavior, which affect the school students' performance in both public and private secondary schools? So it has been simplified to a simplified version for number one. And number two, what factors contribute to students' performance? We are looking at the key factors for both private and public secondary school. And number three, how do the teachers in both public and private secondary school can enhance the 21st century teaching and learning assessment in educations? So basically, in short, it is to ask how to enhance 21st century teaching and learning. To support the entire research study, leadership styles and students' performance literature review were obtained from various scholars. According to Saad and Sankaran, the Ministry of Education of Malaysia, the MOE, has been developing a sustainable and quality education system. And this is used to provide education that is useful to foster personality, in accordance with the values that exist in society as well as culture. Other than that, the leadership can also be defined as school leaders that formulate school vision based on their professional values. It is quoted by Hamdam and David. And furthermore, Hock and Raya also claim that the principal's leadership style depends on the teacher's behavior. To relate it with the student's performance, Munir commented that school leaders in an education organization play a vital role to bring more effective teaching and learning process and to provide good superiority of education to students for achieving both academic and non-academic goals. As for the first type of leadership, that is autocratic leadership, Hock and Raya commented that autocratic leadership is not suitable. It is not suitable to the emotional and pro-social requirement of the teachers that is involved. And according to Hamdan and David, autocratic leaders have complete power over the teachers. The second type of leadership, that is transformational leadership, receive a better positive feedback from the scholars. The first one is it encourages teachers to achieve goals and to improve their overall work performance. That's according to Muon. And this type of leadership associated with better teacher-reported outcomes, especially in the organizational commitment. Apart from that, it also helps to motivate their teachers to take risks and to stimulate teachers to work innovatively, as well as to encourage better creativity. So these are all mentioned by the scholar named Shafi. For instructional leadership, the previous studies by scholars such as Sala and Sankaran claim that instructional leadership is the action taken by principal to improve students' academic achievement. However, it has to be through school teachers' intervention. A country such as Germany indicated that a higher student's achievement when principals demonstrated instructional style of leadership. As for democratic leadership, it is a unique type of leadership that creates better awareness and it promotes better emotional behavior towards the teacher, according to Hawk and Raya. And this type of leadership puts greater emphasis on cooperation and shared decision making. And it has a positive impact on teachers' emotional and psychological needs. Okay, after all this literature review, the researcher came about the theoretical framework. It has been developed by using 4 points and a diagram. The first one would indicate the principal's leadership styles, and the initiative from the principals would set goals, specific goals, and initiate professional development. And with the specific goals from professional development, the school teachers will be creative and to achieve the common school goals. So this would come to explain the boxes number 2, that is teachers' achievement and behavior. The purpose is to improve students' achievement. That would explain the last boxes on students' performance. Okay, let's look at the conceptual framework. The principal's leadership style in this research study is considered as the challenge faced by every school, because different schools may adopt different types of leadership style depending on the needs of the school. Even though it may impact the students' performance. Therefore, the researcher came about and proposed a strategy that is the 21st century teaching and learning assessment with school teachers' intervention in class. And by giving all these assessment, the teachers can directly assess the students' performance. So the performance is the dependent variable, and the principal leadership styles as well as the 21st century teaching and learning assessments are the 2 independent variables. As for research methodology, there is the research design that uses mixed methods research. It makes use of quantitative and qualitative approach. To ensure a more comprehensive understanding. So this quantitative and qualitative approach will be used to also increase the reliability and the validity of the data. Okay, so the qualitative approach used is the semi-structured interview. There are 5 questions prepared for the interview with the school principal. And the quantitative approach used here is the survey method using question A, which will be emailed to all the respondents, and it will be done through an online method. The third one, under sampling technique, purposive sampling will be used because it is cheaper and it can cater for a smaller group of 30 to 40 secondary school teachers from both lower and upper secondary teachers. The researcher chooses Andrew Fisher's formula and to determine the sample size. So the researcher's calculated sample is approximately 385. Therefore, the researcher chooses 400 sample sizes. So 40 secondary schools from each 40 secondary school teachers from each school would indicate that a total of 5 private and 5 public secondary school will be involved in this study. Again, it has to be located in Kuching, so that the researcher would be able to contact them easily. The next one, number 6, reliability and validity. Median, mode, and mean will be used to calculate the central tendency value for this study. And these are all under descriptive statistics. And no conclusions will be needed, as only inferences can be done after the analysis of data is done. Okay, for that, the researcher also include the calculation of range, variance, and standard deviation to measure the spread of the data collected. And the reliability and validity would be increased when Pearson's correlation method of analysis is being used. So this is the Pearson's correlation formula. All the data will be tabulated using 2 different tables. As for the data collection and analysis procedure, the data will be collected using personalized interview, using video recorder kit. So all the important information would be recorded and a transcript would be written and for further thematic analysis. Whereas the online questionnaire using Google Form link, there will be 4 sections. Section 1 would be the demographic factors. Section 2 and 3 would have the total scores computed. And for the section 4 would be mostly about the questions to measure the students' performance in percentage, whether they have improved to extent that can be measured. So is it 0% or 25% or 50% or even 100%? So the Pearson's correlation method of analysis and frequency distribution will be used for the quantitative analysis. So the frequency distribution is mostly to organize the information in a systematic manner. In conclusion, the researcher has recommended mixed method, and there is a need for further in-depth studies because there would be more principals' perspective and other stakeholder view could be taken into consideration, such as parents or even communities that are involving directly or indirectly in the school setting. So coupling with the right strategy with principals' leadership styles, the students' performance in percentage will increase. And definitely in this research, the researcher has benefited a lot and has gained much understanding. So there are a total of 18 references that has been used throughout this entire study. Hope that it has bring much attention and interest to whoever that have listened to this presentation. Thank you very much.